Got it. Okay, nice.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. So, hey everybody, welcome to the podcast again. And we're actually doing back-to-back podcasts with some amazing people in the Web3 space. And trust me, today we have one more amazing person in the Web3 space, and he's also a Huxley fam, so holding a Huxley robot. And yeah, and all kudos to everybody. And let's get started with the podcast. So, Serg, why don't you tell us about yourself and how you got into the space and what is your vision with the Web3 space and whatever you're building?
Oh, thanks. A lot of questions. Thanks, Hashif, to invite me for the podcast. Nice meeting you. Yeah, well, I came into Web3 space, almost 2 years ago. Was in crypto before. Actually, the usual story. Bought my first one in 2017 by the all-time high of 20K Bitcoin back then. And since then, it was on my radar, but more like slowly, passively. And 2 years ago, I kind of discovered or rediscovered the space because of NFTs. Yeah, because for me, this was for the first time a proper use case where I can really vibe with, right? So for me, it was like made a click instantly. Why? Because I was younger, I was very much into collectibles like trading card games, Speak, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon cards. So for me, NFTs made instantly sense. I thought, yeah, of course, scarcity, the same thing, but in a digital way. And then, of course, I digged more into it and like really understood what decentralization means, ownership. And right now, I really believe the whole space, the whole Web3 space is the way for humanity actually to, in the first time in their life, to own something for sure. Since I believe all the physical belongings which you have, I mean, there's still some people can come and take it away from you, like, right? Even if it's like somewhere in the bank, like really think big about it. Like if there is a war or something like this, the people will also come and break the bank, right?
Correct.
But this lives, unreachable. It's in the metaverse. It's in the cloud, let's say. And to get it, they would need to hunt down all the nodes, right, which are spread across the world. And this is why I'm so excited about Web3 space. I think when more and more people understand this, that they can, for the first time, own things, this will make a big change. And of course, also this transition from Web 2 to Web 3, meaning that when you post something like on Instagram or Facebook of the future, it will be your post. Because right now, when you post something, you read the terms of conditions, and actually all your posts are belonging to the companies, right? So this is why I'm so excited about it. And along my journey, of course, I got into many projects. So as a collector, I got into many NFT projects because I just like them. Huxley is only one of them. I have a couple on my list. My Discord list is always full of 200 projects. But I myself, actually, I'm also building in the space. So I'm active in the quite nice amount of projects as well. My main one currently, I'm helping a strategy at Huddle01. This is like a Web3 Zoom. Where you can connect with your wallet instead of your email address, and instead of the password, you use tokens, so you can have token gated meetings. And then working on a Pretzel DAO. This is our community of builders in Munich, just to name a few. Recently also helping some of the bigger fashion brands to get into NFT space, helping them to set up the first drop, what is the distribution strategy, how should we go, should we just drop a link and let them do the gas for and stuff like this, what implication will be making on the brand. So yeah, helping a lot. And be happy in this space. Right now it's a bear market, so it's actually nice because you have a lot of how to call it, a lot less noise, so you can really focus on building.
Interesting. So I think, in the beginning, you were actually talking about you were into collectibles as a kid. And now that you discovered NFTs, you think it instantly clicked because now you see, okay, previously we couldn't own anything on the internet. The only thing we could own was the domain name, right? The domain address. That was the only thing we can own. But now there are assets that we can own digitally. I mean, how powerful do you think that is?
As I said, it's not only like digital assets, it's all assets that can have, I believe, everything of value will be an NFT or will have an NFT attached to it. So it means also physical objects in the real world. Like, for example, if you buy something new, you buy a car or you buy a bicycle, there could be like an NFT released and sent to your wallet, which says, okay, when you have this NFT together with your bicycle and you can show it, then it's for real your bicycle. So it's kind of anti-theft. And also second thing will be, you can have all the special information, like which, I don't know, what's the weight of the bicycle, what's the size of it and stuff like this. You can also have all of this info incorporated in a nice handy way into metadata of the NFT. So it's also useful for you when you, like, after 10 years or 20 years want to resell your bicycle. You don't even remember what manufacturer it is, because maybe it's already, the logo were off, right? So I'm thinking about classical bicycles. You can look up your NFT, and then you can see everything, what it was, maybe even the original price, which is even more fun, right? Because then you can really do this, how to do it with the retro, or how to call old timer cars. When they say it was this price, but now it's like 10x of it just because it's old timer. So yeah, very powerful. And I think more and more people will understand it with time, and then also will take advantage of it. I really think specifically on social media, when you start owning your posts, it's very interesting project right now. It's called Lens Protocol. It's by Aave. And since I'm a builder, I, of course, also built some projects on Lens already during the hackathons in the last months. And basically what Lens Protocol is, it's a social graph which is built in a web3 way. So it's decentralized, it runs on Polygon, and there indeed all of your posts, all your comments, all your retweets, well, they made like a clone, let's say, copy of Twitter, not them directly, but the developers who are building on this protocol, all of those things are NFTs. And when you follow someone, this is also an NFT. And you can even say, I was the 5th follower, I was the 6th follower. So imagine if you discovered someone and you followed this person just in the beginning, and this person blows up and it's like million of followers. You can then really prove and say, hey, I was the 3rd follower.
Yes.
And then you also as a creator, or let's say, or as a public person, you can say, you know what? I want to reward my first 1,000 follower. And this you can do because all of this is on chain, all this data. And this is amazing. Like once the people realize it, this will blow up crazy. It just needs time, of course, because the UX is not great. So they made it already in the best possible way. So how it is, so Lens provides you basically the infrastructure layer, and all developers, everyone can build their own application, their own front end of it. So imagine if Twitter, the whole database will be public, and everyone who knows how to code could build their own Twitter. And this is what happens, So you can also, as a front end, then you can decide which content to hide, what not, because on Lens, everything is uncensored. But you then, as a provider, you can say, okay, I want to comply, for example, with USA law. So I will hide this and this and ban this and this accounts, so you cannot see them on my front end, but they're still existing there. So this is possible to read them, but just not for your front end, not for your URL or app name. But got off topic a bit. Yeah.
No. I think it actually makes a lot of sense because, the incentive mechanism is something which is very, very important in the Web3 space because, we all know a lot of supporters, right? We all know someone who knew some of the most famous people, or, there are people who are initial followers, and when they blow up, they are connected to them, but not in the way that they used to be connected initially, right? And now, when whatever you guys are building, that makes a lot of sense because that itself becomes an NFT, right? Hey, I was the first follower. So you're saying that also becomes an NFT?
Exactly. So basically, that you follow someone, that it also, the interface shows that you follow someone. It also incorporates the date when you followed someone and also your number. So basically it counts, okay, which follower number did you had back then. So later it's really simple for everyone to just read and say, here, the first 1,000 followers. And then you can, for example, open a Discord, right? Or even a Telegram group and say, hey, you can only get in when you have this NFT, which proves you're one of the first 1,000. Bam. And all of this automatically. So you need, probably POAP, for example, and stuff like this. So proof of attendance protocol. You need to create it yourself usually. Like POAP, you need to submit the form, design the whole thing. The team needs to approve it. Here, it's just automatically. You don't even think about it. The people just follow you and they don't think about it. You don't think about it. But then later, a few years later, you think, hey, wait, how about I reward maybe, or like create a channel only for my first 100 followers? All possible. Yeah, this is the coolest thing.
Got it.
This is why I'm so excited about this space. I think Lens protocol, it's a very nice example of how powerful the whole ownership thing will be for the people. Once the people realize it, there will be no turn back.
Got it. So, I mean, you also told us that you're working with multiple projects, right? So, are you like a founder of a few projects, or what are you working at as a strategist?
Yeah, and some projects I'm one of the co-founders, and others I'm in the leadership team. In some I'm just consulting. You know, depends on the project. I usually have like 80-hour weeks because there's a
Wow,
lot to
wow.
do, and also
Yeah,
reducing a
yeah.
little bit. I'm looking how to reshift things. Also
Mhm.
still have some research papers to submit here in
Okay,
Munich.
okay,
I'm
okay.
here in Munich. It's called Center for Digital Technology and Management, CDTM. So I'm part of it, and yeah, I need to finish some research there as well. So yeah, a lot of things going on, but this is the best time right now. It's the best good time to build. It's very exciting. The people you meet at all the conferences, like all the Ethereum conference, at least I'm focusing, by the way, on Ethereum. So there are, of course,
Ethereum,
many
okay.
blockchains. There's Solana, for example, right? But I'm focusing only on Ethereum with the development because I believe in this tech the most. I also like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is very hard to build on, and you're very limited to what you can build on it. So this is why Ethereum, and right now it's great time. It's just fascinating. So I was saying, okay, you know what I'm doing now, the 80 hours weeks, but then later in the future I can then reduce because there will be also more people, more bright ideas, and then you cannot be everywhere. But right now, yeah, I'm just trying to influence, or let's say be involved in as many projects as I can handle.
Got it. I kind of see it from your T-shirt here, the Ethereum logo I see, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
actually
we.
Eve Lisbon. It's
Okay,
actually
okay,
it's Eve Lisbon
okay, okay.
t-shirt. It was a hackathon last year in October
Wow, wow.
in Lisbon, which where I also was part of. I'm just hacking with some people. I just came randomly, found new people, so
Mm-hmm.
it was also my intention. I didn't come there with my pre-built team. I just came there to find some new people and just joined the project we hacked on autonomous NFTs. Super fun with Autonomy Network. Yeah.
Wow, crazy, crazy. So I know, I actually have a lot of questions in mind, right? Because, so could you tell me about, the entire NFT space itself? Because what do you think is the philosophy behind the NFTs, right? Because, we just spoke about how it all got started and how you got into it, but why are you still at it, right? Because even in this market right now, and we know, I think Ethereum has already broken the line, right? It's already broken, and it might even go down. But why are we still at it? Why are we still focusing on this chain? And what is the potential that it has? I mean, not just with NFTs, with other use cases as well. What do you think there are?
Yeah. Okay. So first, why I'm still in the space.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, many projects. So the philosophy right now, I cannot see it. It's clear because I know, especially like before in the bull market, many people and also teams, they only entered with the philosophy of a cash grab. So all they wanted to do is tell whatever the market wants to hear, give them a
Yeah.
roadmap, give them, I just want to collect as much money as possible. This was, I will say, even the majority of people, and this is okay because this is how it always is. Like most of the people just come there during the gold rush, because they're only attracted to money. This is what they want. But when you look at the couple of projects which are not driven by money, but really more about this philosophy of having a new way to connect with the fans, or I would even say it's not just fans anymore. So the people who, like in the proper projects, the people are not fans, they are members as well. Like you can usually also vote if you're NFT, or you get some tokens like ERC20 tokens, where then you can vote, and it kind of going into the DAO approach. There you can see, okay, those projects, they really value the input from the community, and they want to build with the community, and they see it as a new way, which was not never done before. Because, for example, look at Instagram. You can have like
Mm-hmm.
million followers on Instagram, but when you post something, it's usually just some short comments. No one will, like rarely someone will write you a long comment on the influence something, right? It's just like, oh, looks cool, or looks bad, or like, hey, check out this, and or some spam. And here really like
Okay.
also utilizing Discord, this is a new way of building the community. So yeah, I think there is a lot of potential in the companies and the teams which are really there for Web3 philosophy, basically having this new way, like when the members are owning part of your brand, owning part of your
Hmm.
the product you're building, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
really utilizing this, they will stay. And it's also why I am still in this space. So of course, I have a lot, like I would say most of the projects, I invested in a lot of them. Most of them are in the end now went down a lot. right? And there you can see there's also less activity. So you can clearly see, okay, which team's been there only in for the money. But the few ones, like maybe I have 10 projects which are still up and pretty nice, like the same price even that was before crash. There, okay, the team in the community is behind the vision and they're working on it. And this is great. So now I know where I can focus more and also like invest even more, because what I like here is that, yeah, I like to support this new way of thinking about community and memberships. And yeah, I also want to grow together with the space, because I mean, I support the projects not just because they have a nice picture. I usually like also what they want to build, like the bigger vision. And they also see NFTs and Web3 as a way to get this vision done. Like also like here, an example of Huxley, right? We planned so much, and I want to see this coming to truth and being like an example of how you can bootstrap more or less the whole project. I mean, this was in concept already for so long before NFTs even existed, right? I mean, Ben had this wall sketches and stuff before, but now with this technology, he finally can bring it to life without having, some VCs sitting there like asking bank for money. And I think this is beautiful, and we will see more of this.
So do you look at NFTs as a way to raise capital to build the actual product?
As well, like you can do multiple things with NFTs. I, for example, also a member of, like, I really bet more on the people, like on the teams, than just like, I don't care so much about the pictures. And I'm, for example, member of the Floor NFT community. So there was this guy called Chris Maddern, and last year he was just on Twitter, and I was following them from Web2 times. And he posted a screenshot, like a Figma prototype. Figma is a tool to design interfaces. And it was just a portfolio manager for iOS, so NFT portfolio manager. And he said, hey, how comes this doesn't exist? So basically, you open an app, you have your address there loaded, and it just shows you all of your collection and the difference of the floor price from the last day, or like for the last 7 days. And then it got a lot of attention. People said, yeah, build it. And then he created a very short MVP, and he said, okay, if you want to use this test app, it was very, very basic, like, then you need to buy an NFT. You need to have it in your wallet, otherwise it will not show your wallet. So you had to buy his NFT. It was back then 0.1 ETH. He sold 500 of them. They went pretty fast. And then so basically you got 50 ETH already. And then it got more popular. Then he said, okay, let's open a Discord. Everyone who has this token can also join the Discord and chat there. And then more and more people started joining. Then he dropped the Generation 2 token, Generation 3 token. In the end, I think there are right now around 4,000 tokens, which are making you eligible to use the app and also making you eligible to be in the community. And this is a beautiful example how you can fundraise your idea through NFTs, and also in the same time, they also have more utility, right? Like you can now have access to this app. There are more things coming. They also went in price pretty heavily. So like this Generation 1 NFT, which was only 500 of it, I think right now it's like 2 ETH, and back then it was a price of 0.1. And yeah, this is like a beautiful example for it. But it's not only for fundraising. It's one of the use cases. I think the imagination there has no limits.
Yes. Of course. So I mean, the market, right? Coming back to the market again. So I'd say there is a lot of noise, right? Because do you think there is a lot of noise because everyone here is talking about how much the price is, how much it's impacting, and Terra Luna coming in, and Celsius, and now 3 Arrow Capital, right? So everyone talking about that. So are people diverting from actually building stuff, or do you think
actually the builders? No, the builders, they also sometimes maybe tweet something about it, but it's just a side topic for them. So for the most builders, I know like 1 ETH is 1 ETH. And of course, I mean, if the market goes down, you will get less usage of your apps probably. And if you don't have any stable coins, you also have problems in financing. So of course, also as a builder, if you took in, for example, back then you sold some NFTs for ETH, right? And then you have the Swift ETH. The Swift ETH back then is a lot worth, like when ETH was 4,000 per piece, was worth a lot more than now, right? So you also have the responsibility as a builder to secure the funds somehow. So you can, if you need these funds to pay your team, if you don't have any other funds, then you need to care for this. But usually most of the builders I know right now, they just say one ETH is one ETH, and they're just focusing on building. It's not so important for them. I mean, of course, it is generally important, but the same thing is with the stock, right? Like if you are a startup founder and you see, okay, the stock market is crashing. Like imagine you startup founder like in India, and the whole stock market is crashing. How much is it impacting you? You're still building the company, you still have your vision, right? You of course know probably, okay, I will get less money from the VCs, because of the market conditions. But overall, if you are there to build your cool product because okay, this is the idea, and I know this will solve some problems in the world, I want to build it. What do you care about the market? You're just still building, and this is the same thing here. So it's actually, I like it a lot, as it's happening already since 1.5 months, and I see lot less noise in the space for me, which was relevant for me, because they are right now only the people are staying who are really believing in what they're doing. And this is super nice because you don't waste time with people who are actually only there for the money but pretend to be in for for the big vision. Yeah.
So do you think it's like a filter? It's like a filter to remove all the people who are just in it for the cash grab, but who are genuinely building, genuinely interested in building. And
definitely. Like also, all the people who are now losing money, these are the people who never went in because they understood what it means, the blockchain. So all the people who are selling now, there are people who are they never believing too much. I mean, of course, there's also separate section which are traders, and those people are super smart, right? Because they're doing this day in, day out, and they, of course, just trying to sell Bitcoin for stable coin so they can buy more for cheaper later, right? This is a different thing because this is professionally, they know what they're doing. But I would say like normal people who are just saying, oh, okay, I bought Bitcoin at 40K, now at 20, let's fucking sell it and never touch again. Those are the people who never understood the whole thing in the first place. Long term, I'm very optimistic. Long term, I'm very bullish. I believe on the crypto, especially like Bitcoin, Ethereum. I believe they will have a lot of value, like if you measure it in USD, right? But right now, of course, I mean, the stock market is also a bloodbath. So what do you expect? Like everything, like in the world is right now in such a state.
Correct. So, this interesting topic about people calling Bitcoin a hedge for inflation and hedge for fiat. So what are your thoughts on the entire fiat, right? Because I know we are, diving a lot. We're just dabbling into different topics, but, just wanted to your views on that. So fiat is melting. So what's going to happen to fiat, right? Will, is it going to be another like 2008 moment wherein you realize, okay, I just, happened and, things happened and crazier things happened in 2008, right? So,
it can be. Yeah, I agree. Can be the same situation as 2008. I was in a conversation with a friend of mine who is very much into the whole market and stuff like this. He said next year, depending of the Fed, how they increase or decrease the interest rate, it will have a lot of influence on everything. So he's also just waiting right now. For me, well, it's a long topic. Just you can also think what is mining generally. I can highly recommend Gitcoin kernel. It's a program from Gitcoin where you think about such fundamental things, and they have it for free as well as a text format in the website. And then they have a section about what is money. So for me, I will always I'm very happy I have crypto, so I can always put some money into it. So this is my security. But of course, I think when you are like more experienced, you know that you always need to have multiple pots to secure assets. And even if the fiat can be that it will be the next 2008, then it's good when you have some, I don't know, like properties, like land or whatever, right? This can, I think it's not a bad thing. But in general, I think if you don't have like enough money for buying a house or whatever, I think you're good when you just at least having some cryptos, you have some alternative assets there. I think for me, it's even better than, like, imagine you would have gold, like if you, how hard it is to carry it around, to make sure that when you no one steals it. Then I better go into Bitcoin, because here I also have the cool thing is when I go to another country, Usually nowadays in all of the bigger countries, they all have some people, some community about crypto, right? They have some
Yeah.
Bitcoiners, they have some Ethereum guys. So you will find them on Twitter, you will find them like they find it in Telegram group. And even if you come to this country, you have no money. And let's say you have no money on your bank account, you think,
Okay.
fuck, what should I do? What should I do? You can contact these groups, you know, can ask them, hey guys, so what's about like how can I get my Bitcoin to work here now? And they can help you because they are like usually everywhere someone. And this is for me super nice freedom, because imagine you have some currency from a country and this currency is going completely to zero. And then even you have a back of this currency, you come to a new country, you can do nothing with it. So for me, this is how I see it. I would not only focus on cryptos, of course, as I said before, like it's always smart to have multiple pots of different things.
Yes.
But I think crypto is the most easiest one to get. I mean, everyone can just, I mean, right now it's so cheap. Ethereum, look at this, like everyone can take $100 and just put it in. It's at least some security. I think it's nice.
Yeah.
And then also it will be interesting when the people stop seeing the cryptocurrencies always like comparing it to USD, but more saying, okay, I have a good here, I have some good here, and I give it to you for this amount of crypto, you know, and you don't comparing it to the Bitcoin, because you also don't think that you will cash it out, but you also think, okay, now I have some Bitcoin and this I can go like to this guy and he will repair my car, for example, right? And then you kind of start the coupling from the fiat world. I think this will be amazing if you can see this. And I'm very curious how it will be, because I mean, also governments have their play in the whole thing. I know also like in India, the governments are making it hard to own your own crypto, right? Something you need to have it on exchange or something like this, because exchange like, right? So this will be interesting how it turns out. So there's still a lot of things to happen in this space. I still believe we are in the early beginnings, even though Bitcoin is already over 10 years old. Ethereum will be 10 years old in a couple of years. So, and you think, what, 10 years? It must be already like, but yeah, it's still a lot to happen.
True. And, you know, so do you think like Ethereum going down right now, do you think it's like a great entry point for people who are new to crypto and people who want to do something in the space? And let's say if I want to buy an NFT, I have been having an eye on that for a while. Because the floor price was too much previously, I wasn't able to afford it. Now, because of the Ethereum price going down, correct, 1 ETH is 1 ETH for sure. They're making a profit in ETH, but I'm able to use my USDC to convert into ETH and then purchase that, which I previously didn't have access to. Do you think it's a great entry point for NFT newcomers?
Got you. Well, as I said, it's hard to like. I cannot give any financial advice on this. You never know what the market
none of this is financial advice, guys.
But if you don't see it, it's a just, you know, some profit play. But you say, you know what, it's in your example, you said you want to get like specific Huxley, right? So you've been eyeing, you like the project, you say, okay, I want this robot for a long time, and this is now basically you can see it. Oh, okay, it's on discount.
Exactly.
So it's actually great, right? So you're not there because you care about how much ETH will be in next year, and then you make some big profit. You just care about this project, and now you got the opportunity to get, because the project, the fundamentals of the projects, that's the same. They haven't changed. But what changed is the currency, and for you now it's like a cheaper. It's like on discount. So I think if it's your motivation, then for sure, then it's a great time. Because everything which was more than at the time, like at the time you first had the idea to buy it, right? To own this NFT in the example, it's everything now. It's on a discount. So why not? Will it go more down? Maybe, I don't know. Some ideas back then in the space was kind of, okay, the NFTs, they will probably always adjust the price. So basically, if you say, okay, Ethereum is now not 2,000 but 1,000, then the NFTs price should double. Yeah, the people thought everyone will go and adjust the prices, but this is not happening. This is interesting because I'm questioning myself if the people are too lazy to adjust the prices, or if they just don't care, or if they just think, okay, because of the Ethereum going down, they kind of lose faith in the wall space and think, okay, then maybe I don't need the NFT if Ethereum goes down. So it's fascinating what's happening there. I don't know, but actually the ideas back then, I remember being, yeah, of course, if the Ethereum goes down, the NFT price will go up, because people want just to keep the same value in terms of USD, right? But yeah, it's not happening yet. So it's actually a good time if you have some projects in your mind. I mean, I, for example, a big fan of Parallel Alpha. It's uh,
Parallel.
it's it's like trading card game, but in science fiction and reimagined for
Okay.
NFT and augmented reality. It's amazing. I'm a big fan of it.
Mhm.
I mean, the previews are amazing. The game is, of course, not out yet, and I'm using right now the great this discount, let's say, to get more of the cars because some of the cars are now only costing like $5. You know, it's amazing.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, I talk a lot about this effect, right? The Dunning-Kruger effect. So when initially when people come into the NFT space, the Dunning-Kruger effect, and people think that, okay, I know it all. You watch like a couple of you videos on YouTube, you do you read a couple of articles and you think you're at the peak of knowing everything, but then boom, you come down because then you realize, okay, I knew nothing, and it's time to genuinely start building and generally start understanding how the space works, and that's when we plateau, right? So one more thing, right? So you're talking about a lot of your team being based in India, and so what are your thoughts on India as a nation? Because what I see is there are a lot of crypto natives in India, but most crypto natives are moving away to different parts of the country, like Dubai and Singapore, because they're very, very crypto native and crypto friendly. So how do you think it's going to impact? Because will it even change at a larger scale because of the shuffle of talent, and all you need is a laptop, internet connection, and a Discord? It'll be good to go.
Yeah,
So
great question. And I mean, yeah, we also touched on it shortly before the call. Yeah, definitely.
exactly.
Since I met a lot of people from India, and also as I'm working on Huddle 001, I'm sorry, we need to cut it later.
Yeah.
And also since I'm working on Huddle 01, the
Mhm.
majority of our team is located in India. I know how the things are, and also have a lot of exchange with the people. Yeah, I believe this is a great opportunity for people coming from India, right, who are developing there right now, because I think with crypto, with the Web3, they can really show how, yeah, the ownership is changing now, and they can see, okay, we own those things, and all the innovation, it comes from India. It does not, because no, all of Web3 and crypto space is decentralized and also remote in nature. So basically all the teams are also kind of international, very open. They
Yeah,
have
yeah,
people from US, they have people from Australia, people from India, Asia. Everyone is kind of often working on the projects, not always, but often, right? And this is the different mindset. So I think for the first time, this is also why we see so much innovation coming from India, right? I mean, like Polygon is a great example for it, I think. I mean, Polygon network, right? So with the
yeah,
Matic token and etc. So this is a great example for it. It originated from India. Now, of course, they also have US, and have different teams working in different locations where it makes more sense. Like, for example, business development of course makes more sense to have it in US, right? But you don't necessarily need to relocate. Why, of
Mhm.
course, you should think about relocating is because of the governments, right? Of the situation right now in India, where I mentioned before, right? They don't allow you, or they don't like if you have your own wallet. They want you to
Yeah, yeah,
keep your crypto on your own on the exchange. And of course, with these conditions, it's hard for you to develop officially, right? So this is why I think like Indian people often generally like respect like really great developers, bright minds, and just now with the Web3, I think for the first time you can really be originating it from India and shipping it to the world, and it will get attention. This is the thing. I have the feeling that before that it was more like people from, I don't know, no Western, like US, Europe. They would just have some ideas, and they will go to India and get some development power from it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then just also you don't really give credit to it, right? Because the companies then from Europe or from US, and this is what the people focusing on. But basically, majority of work was done in India, and also usually also for way cheaper prices. This is it was the usually
Exactly,
the
exactly.
reason, right? But this is changing now, because as I said, the projects can be originated completely from there. having their, this is the thing, like probably the headquarters will still be, as you mentioned before, in Dubai or somewhere, so
Yes,
so
yes,
you are
yes.
safe from the government point. But I don't
Yeah,
think that the people that need really to relocate somewhere, they can still be in India with their family and their friends. As you mentioned before, the digital nomad movement as well. Like all you need is a laptop. Right now, you only need is a laptop and a
yeah,
good
yeah,
internet connection. You, of course, you
yeah,
can go to Goa, right? Like to these
yeah.
places and work from there.
Yeah,
You can go wherever, but also like this is the question, like what the governments will take. It's really like officially like not allowed for you to have your own wallet. I then can
makes sense.
imagine many of the people, especially like developers,
Hmm.
moving somewhere else. So yeah, as I said, like a lot of potential there, and I think it's a good thing for India that the Web3 came there, and yeah, we see the results. I mean, how many projects are originated from India?
100%, 100%. Because there definitely is there, right? That massive shuffle of talent happening all over the globe and is impacting. Because one thing that we don't really like inside the country is, if you are restricting it so much, then what's the point of decentralization, right? And that is very anti-crypto, anti-Web3. But I'd say the generation, the Gen Z, is very, very, it thinks in a very crypto native way. Like, also I did a podcast previously with uh, another person, and then he was telling me that some people who come into crypto had a very rebellious nature, and they previously didn't like the system. Maybe they had a very bad experience with the education system, the financial system, the hospitals, or anything, any institution. They had a very bad experience, and they became very rebellious, and kind of went out of this and wanted to create something decentralized, and decentralized power. So does it does it overlap with Satoshi Nakamoto's principles? Like, after the '08 crisis and everything, we came on to build this thing which is for everybody. And where do you think the power lies, right? What happens to the people in the 1%? Will they like it? Will they stop the decentralization because it's going to affect them negatively? Maybe. Where do you think the power game is going to be played? How do you think it's going to be played?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it depends again, like on the governments. I mean, I will have it. Yeah, this is a bigger discussion. I believe overall this is better for us having this option of being decentralized, being really our owner of our funds. So I'm, for example, originally I'm from Russia, and I know a lot how it was, for example, during the Soviet times, and also as Soviet break broke, for example, like. My parents and like the family was working just normal workers working hard, because how it was back then in the Soviets, everyone had the same wage and stuff like this, and
Okay.
they saved a lot of money. But then the collapse happened, and then this money was worthless, and then
Correct. Correct.
like
Correct.
this now having this whole thing decentralized, I think this makes it more stable. And this is why I also see in the countries where have also unstable economies, right, they also like to go to crypto, actually, because the people understand, okay, where should I park my money? And it's not like that you can have enough money maybe to buy a house or whatever, but then they see, okay, that maybe this $100 to save them up and put them into crypto, it's better saved there. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think this is the
Yeah.
power, that you have just this choice is the power. And then the governments need now to react. The same was with the internet, right? Some governments then decided to censor internet, like look at China, right? They
Yes.
have their
Yes.
own
Yes.
version of internet
Yeah.
because they saw, okay, this is too much power, because our people will get all the knowledge,
Yes.
and this knowledge is not good for our stable governmental system,
Monarchy. Yeah. Yeah.
because they want to stay in the power. Everyone wants to stay in the power. This is always the goal, right? To stay in the power. And but you cannot stop innovation. So there are ways, and the people also starting changing, and they starting going to other countries where it's more open, better, because they have the knowledge, right? But still, if you've been going to the country back then, you had the problems with the funds, whatever. Yeah, possibly. But now with the crypto, you have again this new layer, which is not only that you are aware what's going on in the world because of the internet. Now you can also bring the ownership with you, and you can say, hey, well, as I said, for example, I'm a member of Paxton now. I can prove it. I can go to US. Maybe I can even connect to our Huxley members through it.
Yeah,
They see,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
there's not a fraud, or he can really show me he is really the member of this community. And you can even look on the chain, for example. Imagine you just recently bought it like one day before, and then you go to community, say, hey, take me. The people will say, okay, well, something is shady there, just like one day old, this his NFT, but here you can also see, okay, there's someone he bought the NFT from the beginning. Like the trust is so much higher because you can see everything on chain. This is verifiable trust, and I like it a lot. So this is why the power comes more to the people now, and governments need to react now. So they will, of course, have different strategies depending where you are, whatever. But all for this, I think it's in generally better for the humanity, because the more choice you have, like just options, it's the same like when you compare your room, like let's say you work a lot and you're actually sitting in the same room, maybe, I don't know, the whole day, you don't leave your room, you just work. And then you say, okay, it's the same like someone who is in the prison, also sits in the same room the whole day, but you have the choice that you can get out, and this is the same thing. The more choices the better it comes for you. So yeah, so the power comes but more to the people, but I would not say that it's like fundamental change right now already happened. It's a long way for this. And also the governments, once they realize the threat, because it's definitely a threat to the power, they will come up with tons of ideas how to prevent it, how to make it harder, like we can already see in India, right? So let's see what future brings.
Got it. And I actually like it when you said bringing the dynamic of trust, right? Trust is also very, very important thing. And I think that is how, as human beings, as social animals, though we are, that's how we've learned to survive, right? We have learned to trust. And I mean, because without trust, there wouldn't be anything, right? What humans would have created. And I think that the blockchain itself adds another layer of trust. And that's when you truly don't have to trust anybody, and it's just in the code, right? So
yeah, it's called trustless, right? So
exactly.
you know it will be executed, but what happens is because of this, what I see in the communities, especially in the good communities, the trust is so much higher. So I was recently, a few days ago, I was in Amsterdam. There was a conference called Met Amsterdam, and it was a metaverse conference with different focus a bit. But I met their community from Zen Academy, from Zenica. I'm owning their NFTs as well. I was an early supporter. I met the people, and I haven't, like, I just came randomly to this meetup, and you already feel like you have some connection with them. All the conversations already went much easier. So it's a cool thing. It helps definitely to establish better connections between people. And yeah, many of the makers, like people many of the creators are realizing this now and seeing, okay, this is something which we had never had before. It's like, yeah, you can see the trust, like you first verify, and then the trust becomes even stronger. It's a cool thing. Everything is transparency. And I think also when you handle things, that you always know all of this in a transparent way. And I think it also gives you kind of the incentive to stay on a good path, because if you really dox yourself and say, okay, this is my wallet, this is what I'm doing, if you start doing shady stuff, it's way harder for you. It's kind of from the beginning, you don't even develop those thoughts further, because okay, like this is so hard to start going to the dark path. So I think it's pretty cool. Of course, if you want it, you can. And most of people, a lot of scam happens in the space because, of course, you don't need to dox yourself, right?
The other side of
wallets who are like, this is why you have all the scams. But people say always in this crypto space, there are so many scams. The thing is, the scams been here always. Like back then in Web1 with the email. And before the good spam filters, and it took them a long time before you got good spam filters. You got every day tons of emails from Nigerian prince offering you his money and whatever. This was the common thing. And then back then, people also have not been that advocated. They thought, oh God, I got my my email. I'm the chosen one. Woo! And then already fell for the scams. So it's the same thing we have right now here in crypto, and it's easier even sometimes because they have this anonymous wallet. Where it's hard still is they really want to cash it out. This is still hard because usually the exchanges then want to know KYC yourself, and then if they see this is some wallet which was reported, it is getting hard for you to get the money out. To be honest, so it's Not everything is simple there, but yeah, people can of course easily do scams still on the blockchain.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah,
yeah, we're not
exactly.
focusing on those.
Yeah, 100%. Because they have always been there, like you said, right? It was always there, always been there. And I wouldn't even say like Web1, right? They've been there since humanity has, even ever started, right? Con artists and con men, snake oil salesmen, and bunch of other people, and there were a lot. But now, because of this, it's just accelerated, and I think the distribution level is significantly higher, and that's what the media likes focusing on. And whoever starts focusing on that is stuck on that and doesn't really, go on to the building part of it. But yeah, just was always wondering, right? So these let's say these bad actors who try to steal the assets from some from wallets, from, let's say, NFTs itself. They try to steal NFTs from a particular wallet, but how do they sell them, right? How do they encash them? How do they liquidate them when everybody already knows that it's stolen? And even OpenSea shows that, hey, the wallet is tagged for suspicious activity. So how do they encash them or liquidate them?
Well,
Because it's
usually,
all on
usually
chain.
they do it right away after the steal asset. They liquidate because of course, if you report something, it takes time to put it, for example, on OpenSea and stuff like this. So usually they sell them in the same hour. They already sell them. In OpenSea, for example, you have always like these offers from bots. So they just sell them on the first, accept the first offer, and it's gone. And also next to OpenSea, we have a lot of more decentralized marketplaces. For example, LuxRare,
Looks
or
like.
let's say not decentralized in Luxor in this case, just more open, let's say, and they are more accessible, and they don't have this feature, so they can go and sell it on LuxRare. So it's possible to sell. Usually then the buyer is usually the one person who then cannot do anything because the NFT is then flagged as fake, and then you sit with this NFT forever. I mean, exactly. So this is what happens usually. But for the hackers, it's not a problem. So the problem for them is more once they have the ETH, what do you do with this? So it's hard for them to cash it out. It's a long process, and usually if this is a bigger sums, I mean for small amounts, it's usually the governments and stuff are not behind it that hard. But for bigger amounts, actually everything is getting watched, and once you
Okay.
make one mistake somewhere, you cash out somewhere, there's some credit card number or something like which indicates your name, you're gone.
Yeah.
If you look, there are many of the hacks from the past. I think there was even like a hack from 2016 which was
Mhm.
resolved in the beginning of this year. I don't remember the name anymore of this hack, but then they basically got the people who've been behind the hack because they tried to cash out after 6 years. They tried to cash out the money. They thought, oh, okay, maybe everyone forgot. And then bam. So yeah,
Perfect. I think
but still, like
this.
many of the smaller ones, like it's like say if there's maybe $10,000 or maybe even 100,000, I don't think the governments or like all of this secret
Yeah.
services, whatever, intelligence services, they will look into it. So this usually
Yeah.
the scammers go away with this. What I'm talking about is really about like 600 millions and stuff like this. This is where everyone
Yes.
is watching. Yeah.
True. So how do you think the DeFi space has evolved, right? Because I think it's a very important one. And how do you think the banks will banks be there? Because in the near future, let's say in the 5 to 10 years, because when I've been reading a lot of articles say that banks are never going away, because there sometimes you have to trust a centralized institution. Is that so? How do you think the DeFi space will change the dynamics of money itself?
DeFi space is cool. I'm not a power user. I'm using it from time to times. I believe banks will adapt. Probably they will, even if they see a blockchain need and usage is so high, they will just release their own versions, which are maybe like semi controlled by them, something
Okay.
like this. Which are maybe more loose. They will
Okay.
adapt because it's just a business thing. I mean, banks are businesses and they need to keep it running. I mean, banks also had no mobile phone applications 10 years ago. Now every bank, even like let's say the most old school bank, even them have now
Yeah.
mobile phone applications, even though they're maybe not good. They need to adapt to the market, so they will adapt. So I think when the usage there is so high, when the adoption of crypto is so high, they will adapt. They will adapt and release either their own versions of it. I mean, Uniswap, you can fork it. Like there's so many Uniswap
Yes,
forks,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so easy to fork it. Maybe they will do something which is more smarter. Maybe they also will work with the governments on this and release their own kind of stable coin, which is crypto coin or whatever. So I believe, yeah, the banks will be there. Also, don't forget that majority of people, they actually don't want that much responsibility. Majority of people, they actually find when bank has their funds, because they know the bank will probably keep it safer than they can do themselves. This is
Yes,
also the
yes,
biggest
yes.
problem right now, which I see with crypto adoption.
Mhm.
It all starts with the wallet. It all starts with the wallet, and the wallet experience is really bad. It's very techy. It's very beginner unfriendly. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter which wallet, they kind of all complicated, because in the end, even if you have like, there's some very good UX wallets, let's say Rainbow wallet. Problem is there still, the principle is the same. Like you have your address and you have your seed phrase. You
Okay.
own your seed phrase. Once you lose it or someone hacks you, all your possessions are gone, right? Because you cannot change the password, you cannot do anything. So I believe just this thing alone, that we are really on this bare level right now. Just it's you
Okay.
and your password. And once you do a slightest mistake, maybe even 10 years after, maybe even no, you forgot your computer unlocked, and then your children come and they click on some link and it's gone. So it's not even you. It's maybe just because there was a moment, maybe just someone clicked, you've been shortly disrupted, I don't know, and then everything you possess is gone. This cannot be. It cannot be that every time you're just one button away to lose everything. And as long as we don't solve this, I don't see
Wow.
crypto mass adoption happen, which is why I'm very bullish on smart contract wallets. There are a couple of them,
Okay. Okay.
which are basically that you have you still have like one wallet which has a seed phrase, but you almost never touch it. Like you touch it once in the beginning, and then it just in a safe space, and you never like every other interaction, like to OpenSea and stuff like this. This happens for the smart wallet, and the smart contract wallet is a contract, and there you can change the password, there you can do whatever. But for OpenSea, it looks like a normal wallet, but in
Okay.
like how it works, it's actually an application where you can change the passwords, and there, for example, you can do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of development happening there, and I think this is the right way. And what I clearly see in the future is that big corporates, they will also understand. I actually think Microsoft probably is a good candidate for it. They will understand, okay, the need is there, people want those wallets. How about we give them the wallet which is kind of half custodial wallet, so
Okay.
where you as a user, you don't have your full control of your seed phrase, but there are
Mhm.
possibilities how you can extract it if you really, really want it, or something like this, and then maybe what I can also see is like those wallet providers, they will have allow lists of contracts which they allow you to execute. So basically
Mhm.
they want to protect you. So even if you go on some fake mint site, you click on mint,
Mint.
it will tell
Okay.
you, you cannot do it. It's not on our, we have not allowed this contract in our network. So basically they will do the security layer for you. And this is basically their protection. You trust them that they know which contracts. So this will be a big business. I think there will be a business just to go through popular contracts and make sure that you audit them. And then you can say, okay, this contract is safe to mint. There is no malicious code inside it. And then it comes to this kind of wallets, which also probably will be smart contract wallets. And I think this will be the next major jump in adoption. I'm curious to see if we will see such products in the next couple of years, popping up. And definitely it needs also to be some bigger corporates behind it, like Microsoft, or let's say even
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah.
because they have so much reach already. Imagine they just say, hey, it's your Facebook account, bam, now you have a Web3 wallet. Of course, it's from the digitalization point of view,
Mhm.
not optimal. But in terms of adoption, this is what we need. And the people, I think most of them, they will actually be thankful for this, because they don't want the responsibility. They don't want to be always one click away of losing everything.
Yes.
And
Yes.
once
Yes.
this happens, then we'll have exciting times. I'm telling you, this will be a big change. They're really talking about the first billion people coming in.
Perfect. Perfect. I think this makes a lot of sense, right? Because, you know, whoever wants, I mean, people who evolved from web 1 to web 2, they didn't really know about the code, right? If there was someone who got into Instagram, they didn't really care about what the code was, how the application works. It's just about the interface and what it's all about. So I think when this layer comes on, it's definitely going to be a large scale mass adoption, and even the first 1 billion people can come through this. But but right now, if I have all my funds logged in a ledger and I forget it, it's like it's gone, right? It's never coming back. So
What do you
isn't
mean
that kind of
forget?
scary? Yeah, isn't that
What do you
kind
mean
of
you
scary?
forget?
My seed phrases, I've lost my seed phrases, or I forgot my seed phrases.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I'm telling you, this is not an optimal solution, because yeah, if you screw it out, like this is unacceptable, especially if we're talking, because I already see like people talking about soulbound NFTs, basically
So
NFTs
yes,
which you cannot transfer
transfer.
anymore. And they say, okay, maybe this will be because for your work contribution, or maybe let's say your university will give you your degree as an NFT, as a soulbound NFT, so you cannot transfer it somewhere. But the problem is, imagine you're really building your digital identity. Let's say you have a wallet which is only like for this collection of your work, and it's not your digital wallet where you go and mint stuff, but just as your like main official wallet, it's just only for collecting the stuff. And then what you said happens, like somewhat the ledger broke, or you forgot the seed phrase, somehow it got burned, or the house burned down, whatever, right? Can happen. Everything can happen. And then your whole identity, you worked on this like your whole life, and now you need to
Yeah,
try and go to every institution again and hope they can still issue the same thing. So yeah, this is unacceptable, which is why I'm telling you, to get mass adoption, a lot of needs to happen on this entry level, actually on the
okay,
wallet level. This is where
okay,
I see the most need right now. And yeah, there are teams working on this. It's just a matter of time, I'm telling you. And besides, it's always, this is why it's funny, because there are a lot of teams doing, most of the teams are doing different stuff in the Web3 space, and there's a tons of
Mhm.
things to do, but they're always kind of playing with the current people on the network, and they're actually not so
Okay,
many active. I think on OpenSea we have like 500,000 daily active users, or it
yeah, yeah,
was. I mean, probably right now way less because of the bear market. But I think it was like around 500,000 back then, at all-time highs of NFTs. So it's not much. If you say
yeah,
it's
yeah,
only 500,000, come on, like it's some
yes,
of the
yes.
cities, like most of these big cities have more inhabitants, right? So this is nothing. And what we need is this billion of people. And for this, we definitely need a better foundational, let's say, fundamental change about how the wallets are working right now.
Makes
We
sense,
need
makes
something
sense.
which is super simple and
Mhm.
easier to not fuck up.
Yeah, yeah, makes total sense, right? Because it's really difficult, and also like only 3 million people in the world just own NFTs, because I've seen that stat. It's just mind blowing. Like just only 3 million people, and you
Probably
compare
not
it with
even
the
people. Probably like that there are like many, let's say,
wallets.
professional
Yes,
traders who have like
true, true,
thousands of
true.
wallets, maybe even 10,000s of wallets. So you cannot even say people. You can only say
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wallets,
Wallets,
because you
exactly.
never
Yeah,
know.
true, 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 true,
Yeah.
true. And like scammers, right? They have like maybe hundreds of wallets, even so many
Yeah, this
NFTs
is
and
the thing,
everything.
that there's so many wallets getting created. There's some things which need to change, and I'm also fine to have this compromise of having hey, it's kind of semi decentralized, so it's not a completely non-custodial, right? But it's also not custodial. So, but
Okay.
there's a cool project. I also was talking about it yesterday. I think it's
Mhm.
called Web3 Off. So
Okay.
AUCH off. No, not AUTH, sorry, off. Like
Okay.
Web3 off. And this is kind of, they have this cool approach. They rebranded themselves. It was like some kind of a wallet before. I only met them at EVE Amsterdam, like their booth, and they're actually doing something smart. You can log in and create your wallet with your Google account, and they don't have your seed phrase. Google does not have your seed phrase. And you also only have a part of your seed phrase. But if you
Okay.
want, you can go in their backend, like in their settings, and you can press like confirm button multiple times, and then you can export your seed phrase.
Got it.
But
Got it.
before you do that, it's never available. And the cool thing how they do it is that the part of the seed phrase is bound to your hardware. So you
Mm-hmm.
can only do it from the machine or the
From
phone you first created the wallet. So this is kind of also the
oh,
weak point.
okay, okay, okay.
If you switch your wallet and then you
Yes, yes,
remember about
yes.
it a year ago, you think, oh fuck, I cannot get my seed phrase anymore.
Yeah,
But still,
yeah.
you can log into your wallet with your Google, address, and this is the coolest thing. And then even if you realize that, you can still transfer all your funds to some new wallet, right? So it's okay. It's still better than just losing access, right? So I think more of this we will see in the next years. Right now is bear market. Bear market is the best time to build things because teams are now which been found before properly. They're now set. They now know, okay, there are no distractions, just work. They try to be lean. That means they will try to release things which are really needed as fast as possible. They will not just explore, but they will just do a lot of interactions with users, and they will see, okay, which features are really needed right now, not just nice to haves, but only the one which we need. And then I think we will see a lot of progress. And those companies, of course, this will be the ones which are really getting all the attention later in the next bull market. You can see with OpenSea, they've been building since 2018. They made no profit. They did only negative the first 2 years or the first 3 years even. And then, to 2021, we got the NFT boom, the NFT hype, and they like from zero to, and they started earning a lot every day just by the royalty fees. So this will happen for the next cycle or for as well, right? So the companies which will now survive for this cycle, and the ones who will survive who are really building something valuable. This is the cool thing about the bearish market.
Okay.
If you are just building a useless thing, no more money will come, and you'll eventually here. So yeah, I think it's a good thing that we have these cycles, and also let's see how deep we will go this time. Usually, each new bear market, the lowest point is still not as low as it was in the previous bear market.
Could you explain that more?
Well, I mean, how low can Ethereum go this time?
Okay.
And, like when we have the next all-time high, we have this complete. But let's say Ethereum goes this time, let's say to $300 down, right? And then you compare it. What was the deepest last bear market? And it was maybe 80. And this is what I mean. So basically, it will still not as slow as it was last time. So usually it's still higher and higher. Even if it goes down, it does not go down as much as it was in the last.
Okay. Last bear market. Okay. Makes sense. So do you think it's still going to go lower, because there are a lot of indications on the chart as well, and it seems to, right? And this is the time not to panic, you say?
As I said, for me as a builder, I don't panic at all. For me, ETH is ETH. Just important, as I said, that not all your income is depending on the crypto, right? We are right now in transitional time. It's not like crypto is not mass adopted yet in the whole world, right? You cannot just, what is wrong is to put all your bet on crypto, and now you need to pay your rent, and all your money is in Ethereum, for example. And then you think, fuck, now to pay the rent, I need to liquidate the Ethereum to this such low price. It's bad, right? So you still need to have some kind of fiat income right now, because we are in this phase where this walls coexist together, right? So you need to have definitely different multiple income streams, and also some which just give you fiat money so you can pay your rent, buy your food, etc. So this is the best way right now. So you should not panic when you have this. If you put all your money into crypto, this is of course time to panic, because of course you cannot sell and you cannot pay your rent anymore. But I think I hope at least that most of the people don't put all the money into crypto, because this is something where everyone tells you like don't do it, and most of the people even tell you only put the money which is your fun money. So you you think, okay, this evening should I really get another beer, or should I put this $5 better in my casa for the crypto which I will buy? Like dollar cost averaging is also like one strategy, right? There are many strategies how to do it, and this is the best way, because then there's nothing to panic. I mean, you currently look at your portfolio app, it shows you, okay, you're minus 70%, whatever. You think shit, but you need to go for a long. You need to go for a long run.
Got it.
This is the mindset. You like if you're not a trader, as I said, like really the guys who are traders, they do it differently. Like they have their own strategies and their philosophy, how they see the market, how they see money. But for me as a builder, as I said, I don't invest in right now in Ethereum and NFT projects just because I want to have a quick flip and just buy a Lambo after a few years and then forget crypto and say, hey, it was nice deal. Now I have my house, I have my Lambo. I don't need this
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
For me, it's really like the
True,
thing.
true.
I'm betting on technology. I'm betting on the world which is changing right now.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
yeah, this is why I'm really I'm super relaxed. So for me, the bear market, or even if the ETH goes to 300, I will say, hey, nice, like cheaper entry price. Let's get more.
100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah. So I think there were a lot of points covered, a lot of points that we spoke about. And, I actually have this one last question if you're okay with that. So what do you think is the best advice that you could give? Because I ask this question to every single guy who comes on podcast. Okay. What is your best advice to a 20-year-old who just got into crypto and he sees the bear market and it's like, whoa, what's happening? But then he wants to do something in crypto. What's your best advice?
Yeah, start building.
Ah,
Start building. Then
true,
then
true,
then
true.
you automatically get in touch with crypto. For example, for some things you also need to buy the coins of the projects. You have, for example,
Mhm.
Filecoin. You want to do something with them, you need to buy those coins. So you buy things which you need for your development. For example, or the graph, right? You want to do
Mhm.
something with the graph, you also buy their token. And for doing this, you also need ETH. So you kind of get all of this.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
definitely don't use all your money. Don't use all your money.
Mhm.
This will be my two advices. You start building and don't lose all your money. Like
I
don't put just all your money into it, right? Just
100%,
as
100%.
before, instead of having an additional beer,
Yes, yes,
think about
yes.
maybe I can put this money together and then I don't do it 10 times, and then this money I can now put into crypto. I think it's really great times right now. And I mean, it's comparing to a couple of months ago. I mean, look at this
Mhm, mhm.
discount, right? That no one can tell you if it will go. Like, this is impossible. Otherwise, the people who would know it, they will you know they will not
Yeah,
share
yeah,
anyways. But yeah,
yeah.
you cannot predict. The market does what the market does. You look at the chart, it can go up, it can go down. If you don't care, as I said, look at this strategies like dollar cost averaging is the most popular strategy on investing in crypto. Get educated. Definitely don't tape in. But for me, really, the best way was getting all of this is by building, because then you need to do this and this, and for doing this, you need to understand this and this topic, and you start to go down the rabbit hole, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
understand more and more and more, and then you also panic less because you see this more as a technology and not just as an investing mechanism, and then it's it becomes chill time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, just want, I still want to talk about, I'm just keeping our schedule in mind. And so, is this your first bear market? Is this your first cycle?
No, as I said, I got into crypto 2017.
2017. Fine,
And
fine.
right after this,
Yeah.
there was the bear market I went into. But there, I was not building, I was just investing. And there, I also had the philosophy that I just, I keep it there, and even bought some more. I remember last
Mhm,
bear
mhm,
market, but I was
mhm.
not building it. For me, it was just, like at some point in summer or so, I saw, okay, Bitcoin is pretty low, Ethereum is pretty low, and I had some money to play with. I think like $500 or what. I just put it in. So it was not like I was timing the market and when should I buy it. It
Got
was
it.
more like, I was not caring too much, but I also knew that I like overall, like I like what crypto is about. And
Mhm.
I still believe that this just takes time for people to realize and more usage to come. So I just put
Yes,
more money into
yes.
it, and I just said, okay, you know what? I forget it again for a couple of years. And yeah, so I'm not a trader. I mean, trader see it completely differently. They have
Mhm.
the strategies. They know how to make money with in every market. They know how to make money in bear market. They know how to make the money on the switch to bull market. Like they know the strategies. But you as a regular person, said like I think even most of the people I met who are not traders, they told me the best thing would have been if they would just have bought and never touched again and just bought more. This will
Yeah,
be
yeah,
the best
yeah.
strategy for them. And yeah, maybe you can see it as your savings account.
True, true, true,
just
true.
just you need to time it, of course, right when you should cash out. You probably, if you need
Yeah,
to, like, it's probably not smart to cash out your savings account when the whole world is going down, also the stocks and stuff in terms of financial markets. Yeah.
that's amazing. And yeah, I think it's. I mean, for me personally, I think I look at this as an opportunity to just get that NFT that I have in my mind. But other than that, it's
Great motivation,
definitely a
man.
great. Huh?
This is the right motivation. This is the way better motivation than just
Correct.
buy it to make a flip.
Correct.
This
Correct.
this is
Correct. Correct.
And
True, true,
especially,
true.
also this communities, if they really like, if you trust in the community and the project, even if I'm telling you, even if it should happen that Ethereum is really like no one wants to use it anymore, let's imagine those communities, if they're really like behind the people and you trust them, they trust you, they will find ways how to transfer whatever you have to the next technology. They will find ways to work with you to how we can, let's imagine there will be like a new Web4, Web5 thing, they will help you to transfer this to there. So I will not care, because for you it's really not about the flipping, it's about being a member
Yes, yes,
of a
yes,
project,
yes.
building with them. And if they really are trustworthy and you put your money into them, they will also care for you when the time has come.
Yeah, yeah. Because I personally want to make that one NFT as my identity on the Twitter as well. So, maybe I want to, give off some merch to, if I'm doing some podcasts or maybe some live events wherever I go, I want to give it off as my merch, and people should, recognize, hey, that NFT, I know that, that is Harshit.eth. So, kind of making that as my identity as well. And also, yeah, so that was in my mind. But I think
This is a great
definitely
use case, man. Yeah, this is
got it,
also
got it.
what we are, for example, building in Huddle, right? There you log in
Uh-huh.
with your wallet, we automatically read your ENS domain name. So this
Okay,
is your
okay.
username, and you can put your NFT as your avatar. Right now, it's just like a say image, and we're already working on some tech how to put it on your face. Like for example, G Money does it with
Wow,
his
wow.
funk. Yeah. So this is for us the
Crazy,
idea that
crazy.
more and more people will want it like you, having this as their digital identity. So yeah, you're on the path, definitely. Let's see how it works out.
Yes, yes, yes.
For
Yeah.
everything to take off, we need more adaptation. We just need more people into it, because there are a lot of amazing things happening in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And we just need to spread the word to get the people also, even if they're aware of it, we need to make it simple for them to join, like all the points I mentioned before with the wallets,
Yes,
etc.
yes, yes.
But then once this happens, we will see this magic, for example, that all the people like say, okay, wow, it's possible now to have this digital identity is a proper one, because you saw this a lot of World of Warcraft. People very identify themselves a lot with the World of Warcraft character, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
imagine this happening here
Yes,
in your Zoom meetings. You have your thing here. It can be super fun.
makes
So let's
sense.
see
Yeah,
what the world
yeah.
brings.
And also really excited about what Instagram is doing with Polygon, right? I mean, using creating a new section for collectibles. I know it's definitely taking some time, but that will increase a little bit of mass adoption and awareness towards NFTs. Do you think among common people?
Probably, yeah. Probably they're all doing like a soft approach, also going with Polygon and stuff like this. They're all experiments. They just see what will stick or not with the people. But yeah, definitely, the more exposure, the bigger companies which have the reach using the tech, the better this is for the community. So I'm always
Perfect,
happy when
perfect.
there's some new major tech company announces that they somehow use the tech. What I don't like is if they create something on their own completely, which is usually then
Yes, yes,
still
yes.
centralized, and they
Centralized.
call it the NFT and stuff like this, and then the people just don't get any, they get super confused. So let's see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what more companies will do. But as long as it is incorporates proper decentralized, or say more or less decentralized Web3 tech into the offerings, I'm always
It's
up
lovely.
for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, sir, it was great talking to you, and I'll see you
Yeah,
again in
man.
the Huxley chat, and also been following your tweets and everything. But yeah, yeah, and genuinely, I'm grateful to be a community manager at Huxley and meet all of you guys, and it's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's the same. It was nice meeting you. And, I just saw you have 1337 followers
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's a very specific number. It means lead, and
Okay.
gaming.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a very cool number. I now will ruin it because I'm also now following you. Now you have 1338 followers. So
That's
the cool
good. That's
number
good.
is gone. But
Yeah. Yeah.
no, you will never know that I'm your 1338 follower from
True. True.
Twitter.
True.
With this new text, you will know, but still, super cool
Yeah.
meeting
Yeah.
you. Great
Yeah.
questions, and
Yeah. For
yeah,
sure. For sure.
let's hope maybe also to meet you at some of the Ethereum
100%.
events, or even
100%.
events in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe also
Yeah.
at India. Let's see. And yeah, wishing you a great day.
Sure. Sure. All right then, sir. It was great meeting you again.